Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hey, as you're logging on, go ahead and turn those Zoom cameras on. It makes it so much easier for me when I can see your faces.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, working everything out.
Are you?
Yes, I am. It's good to see you. You see
You
your
too.
face.
Yeah, I saw you were on Monday night too, right?
Yes,
I saw
I
you and your
was.
husband sitting there in the screen.
Yeah, I was very touched by your testimony.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Looking
Eric,
forward
you
to
got to work on your lighting, man. I can't see you. I'm just playing with you, man. All right. Well, we got everybody logging on. As you're logging on, turn those cameras on. So today, you know what we're going to talk about. Yeah, I'm starting to see you better now. You need a camera going this way because the light behind the back. There you go. So glad to have everyone on. So today we're going to kind of be having a discussion about like what makes a successful entrepreneur and what are kind of some of those traits that you might notice about people. It's good to talk about this subject because, you know, some things it's like, God, I didn't even really think about that, right? So today is going to be a little bit different as we are talking about need to sell my house fast leads, but I would love for everybody to weigh in on this subject about like what have you noticed in certain people in your life that prove to be more successful than others, right? That could be financially, or really that could be you know, maybe they're a great father, a great mother. Like what are some of those characteristics? So we'll get started talking about that here in just a minute. I'll tell you something about real estate that I really, really love is it's really one of those businesses where the hustle mentality really can kind of help you out, right? Like I can't go hustle and be a doctor tomorrow, right? It's going to take me 10 years to be a doctor. But the beautiful thing about real estate is I love that you can kind of hustle your way through in the beginning and kind of get to where you want to be. So that's kind of one of the biggest things, because truly, like if you are someone that comes into this business with money, then you're able to go buy motivated seller leads like we talk about here at Need to Sell My House Fast leads. And by the way, one of my absolute favorite lead sources is Need to Sell My House Fast leads, really because of the quality of the leads that we have here. We Need to Sell My House Fast, because your closing ratios are like 1 in every 10 leads, right? By the way, I'm going to be a little bit distracted. Jillian over there at the beach, you're making every one of us upset watching that beautiful ocean behind you, just so you know.
Show you a little bit better.
Yes, yes.
I'm not enjoying it. Look.
Oh, you're burnt.
Like 3rd-degree burns.
Wear
I've been here
sunscreen.
last week.
Yeah.
We leave today.
Awesome, awesome.
Upset about it.
Well, nobody ever wants to leave the beach.
Right.
So, you know, guys, let's have a conversation of like in real estate investing, what are some characteristics about people that you notice that you might see someone more successful than another? Anybody want to raise their hand and share what some of those characteristics are? Come on. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Somebody that has.
Oh, you unmuted and then muted yourself.
Somebody that has a lot of drive.
Absolutely. I mean, kind of what do you kind of mean by that? A lot of drive.
Somebody that is not going to stop just because they wind up with an unpleasant outcome, or is it going to keep on plowing through until he or she gets to where they need to be?
Yeah.
Or where they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Has anybody ever saw that meme where somebody was like digging in a mine, and like if they would have just dug that much further, then the gold was on the other side? I see that like so many times with a lot of people I work with. It's like they're almost there, but then they give up at the very last moment when if they'd have just dug a little bit harder, right, they would have kind of got to where they want to be. What's some other characteristics? Justin, I know you had put your hand up.
Discipline and persistence. Pretty
Persistence.
much kind of tying in what Eric kind of said. Persistence, you keep going even when the going gets tough. And
Mhm.
discipline is you doing what you don't want to do. I mean, a lot of times people don't want to spend the money. People don't want to read the books. They don't want to do the follow-ups or whatever the case may be, is because there's more pain associated with it than pleasure. So people would rather stick to what's comfortable with them versus being disciplined and going after the hard stuff.
You're exactly right. You know, to me, it's doing what others aren't willing to do. Like, you know, you may not be the smartest person in the room, but if you're willing to do what others aren't willing to do, it's amazing how much further that'll get you, you know what I mean? Like it's actually crazy. I'll tell you, after all the years, I've taught many people in real estate investing. And if someone said, what's that avatar? It's actually different, in my opinion, than what most people think. The people that I see that are truly like month in, month out closing deals, right, are good people persons. What do I mean by that? Well, it means that they care about others, right? One of those types of people, if you're sitting in a line at a grocery store, you're gonna, you know, get a conversation going with somebody in that line. You understand the power of building relationships. And by far, for me, is whenever I first meet somebody that I know has the drive, that has the passion, and that has that characteristic about that they're a people person, I just know they're going to do well in this industry. Now, if you're doing commercial real estate, you're buying off the MLS, maybe that stuff doesn't matter, right? But if you're meeting with motivated sellers, being able to empathize, being able to, you know, really kind of get in deep with what they're going through and provide those solutions, that's what sets somebody apart. Not going to an appointment and only looking for the money side of things. If you do the right thing by people, money will always come. I truly, truly believe that. Really, in any business, if your first goal is to do the right thing by somebody, even if it doesn't result in you getting that deal, it will come back to you, you know, kind of later on. So I take those things from the very beginning when learning how to talk to these sellers. So when you're getting these need to sell my house fast leads, right? Does anybody have any opening lines to the need to sell my house fast leads when you get them? What are some of the things you might say to be a great opener? Because this is something that's really going to help everybody that's buying these leads. What is it that you're saying? Anybody? Okay, so go ahead, Eric.
One of the things I say to people is, what is it that you're looking for? Let me back up. Aside from, one of the things I say is, aside from talking to me right now, what's got you interested in selling your house right now?
Mm-hmm. So you're trying to figure out what their why is.
Absolutely. Because
Okay.
that's going to define on kind of the direction this goes in, because the way I look at it is, I want to be able to provide solutions.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of it is, if somebody's 3 days from foreclosure, I have limited ability to be able to provide a solution for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not impossible, but very limited.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that's helped to me with these leads, as far as, and I definitely get what you're saying, but that like opening line, right? One of my favorite opening lines are, you went online to one of my ads, right, and requested to hear an offer. So instead of saying that I'm buying leads from a different source, I literally say, you went online and you found me online, right? And now I know that you want to hear an offer for your home. So because you are the only person to get this lead when you buy your house buy these leads from Need to Sell My House Fast, I would totally put it out there that those are your ads. I think that's a huge thing. It levels you up, right? And then go into it. Well, like, hey, why are you wanting to sell? Just like Eric said. Because a lot of us go, all right, what are you looking to get for the property? What condition is it in? Oh shit, they're not excited. This ain't a deal. You know what I mean? We've got to take the time with people. Because like right now, if Jeanette was to call me, okay, and let's say she bought vehicles for a living, and I went online and said, you know what? I want to sell my truck. If Jeanette called me and said, what do you want for your truck right now? Cash. It'd be like $100,000. Jeanette would be like, you've lost your damn mind. It's a 2019 Ford F-150. It's not worth $100,000, right? Because Jeanette didn't take the time to build that relationship with me. Now, had she called and said, God, Julie, I seen you went online and you obviously want to hear an offer for your truck. I mean, why are you wanting to sell that truck? Are you wanting to buy an SUV? Do you just need the money? Like, what are some of those reasons? So a lot of us have what I like to call diarrhea of the mouth. Okay. Meaning that we project what we think about somebody by just talking. Whether you want to be a good friend or whether you want to be good at this particular business, asking questions is the way to build a relationship. I want everybody to think about this for a minute. Who on here has a best friend? I hope everybody's got some good friends in their life. Raise your hand. What are some characteristics? I want you to think about this person right now. Like this one person, you're like, you know what? I can always count on this person. That I've been friends with them since I was 5. I met them last year. I met them last week. What are some characteristics about an individual that makes you think, you know what? They're a good friend. What are those things about them? And y'all could just speak it out.
My best friend will challenge me and address things because we get inside our own heads, our own personal bubble, and we know we've got the right solution. And she will let me know that I need to think about it differently.
Yeah, that's awesome. So she's not afraid to be out there with you, right? She's not afraid to address, Eric, you're making a huge decision. I mean, you're making a huge, issue here by doing this. So just being honest with you.
Absolutely.
I would say characteristics of a good friend is somebody that listens. And I don't mean hear me. I mean, listens to me. So that kind of correlates with talking to sellers, right? If you're wanting to build a relationship with them, instead of us saying, oh, I could close quick, I could give you cash, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. All they're hearing is, like Eric said, ask questions so that they can give you more information, and then you can utilize that information on how you're going to solve those problems. So, a lot of times when you say, Julie, what's a characteristic of a successful individual? Somebody that's empathetic, a good people person, right? But at the same time, having that drive and that resilience is huge. Because like me, I can outwork anybody else if I want to. You know what I mean? If I really want something, I will dive in and I'll get it done. I never quit. And I never say that I'm going to fail anything. In my mind, if I start something, I'm only going to win. I'm never going to say that. Like I was just talking to my daughter today and she's like, I'm having a bad day. Why are you having a bad day? Well, because of this, this, and this. Well, why don't you just start saying you're having a good day? Quit saying you're having a bad day. You're having a good day. You're not going to have a good day if you think you're having a bad day. You're not going to do well in this business if you always are like, well, I'm going to fail. I'm going to lose my money. I'm going to waste my time. never a waste of time when you're learning. So those are some of the characteristics that I've seen of really, really great, great real estate investors, and what sets them apart. Okay. Is for me, that's what I've noticed. And honestly, it's somebody that's coachable. You know, if someone always is trying to reinvent the wheel, and they're like, well, you know what, God, even though she's been doing it for 12 years and done this, I'm going to try this newfangled way. And then no matter that everybody else says it's not the right way to do it, I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to be successful. The reason you hire a mentor in this business or something else is because you're there to learn. So that was very, very hard for me. I have mentors now. You know, I have a mentor that just literally helps me to have a better attitude about life. And it doesn't matter what I tell him, he snaps me back like this. So you've got to be coachable. So that's really, really huge. So what I would like to do, I know we don't have a ton of people on. I would love to answer any questions that anybody might be having about real estate investing, whether that's rentals, whether that's wholesale deals, fix and flips, sub twos, owner finance, sandwich lease options, what those even are, what are the possibilities. So all you've got to do is raise those Zoom hands. And if you do so, like, just let's just have some conversations about the business. Yes, Eric, thank you for participating. See, this is my buddy right here, because he don't leave me hanging.
I have a question. It was from something that you alluded to in a earlier training. And I don't know if you were just ripping at the time. I heard you make a statement that that you know of 72 or 74 ways to do a creative deal. Were you just ripping, or were you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Okay. We'll
Yeah.
come back to that then.
Well, because in creative financing, the world is completely open, right, to the different strategies. And the funny thing is I learned that from a mentor that I hired to learn creative financing. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Lou Brown. He was like one of the original OGs of like he's the one that sold tapes. You know what I mean? Where you literally bought tapes and you bought papers. And none of his courses are digitized, I don't think, at this point. But he literally wrote down every exit strategy on a creative financing deal. What that told me, or what I learned from that, Eric, was that with creative financing, there's never a box to put things in. The box could go 100 different ways. So no deal is ever the same. Understanding the mechanics of how to do those deals is one thing, but there's never one right way to do everything, right?
Gotcha.
Like, a lot of people don't realize that you can wholesale creative financing deals and make more money than wholesaling cash deals. You know who one of the biggest buyers of these wholesale deals for creative financing is in the country? And I promise you see them all over TikTok, you see them all over Facebook, all over Instagram, and that's Pace Morby.
You're right. And he puts it out there. He says that he will buy those deals.
And he really does. Like, know that for a fact. So, you know, too, I think it's great to learn from different people too. Like, I love listening to him. I love listening to Chris Prefontaine, a couple others, on ways to put notes together, on ways to put these deals together. Let's see, we've got a Zoom user with your hand up. I'm sorry, I don't see your name on there, honey. But you have a beautiful picture though.
Oh, hi, it's India. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I talked to a seller about an hour ago, and he's a flipper, and he has a property that It's already renovated, it's ready to go. But I introduced turns to him and he was kind of open to it, but he was saying he doesn't know how it would work because, he's looking to get at least 30K out of it because he doesn't really want to refinance the 263,000. And I was just wondering, how would you figure another way to make this deal work? Because he told me if I can figure out something to call him back.
Okay, so my first question is when you bought the house and you flipped it, did you get a hard money loan?
No, I didn't buy the house. He did.
No, I know. Does he have a hard money loan on that house?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Because, yeah, he does.
So essentially, if he's got a hard money loan on that house, he's got to cash out in a year.
Okay.
Or maybe even less, unless he refinances it. Okay. So one strategy that I may say to him is this. Well, I need to know kind of what the AR, he's into the house for how much?
230.
What's the ARV?
About 270, 265, something like that.
Okay. So, I'm going to pull my calculator up here real quick. So let's just kind of see what we could do here on this.
Okay.
All right. So if he was to take that hard money loan and do a 30-year cash out refi, okay, a lot of people will flip houses and hold them long term, and they'll pull money out at every deal because there's plenty of mortgage companies or lenders that'll do an 80% LTV.
Okay.
Makes sense. So
Yes, ma'am.
let's say his ARV is 280. Okay. You would
Okay.
take that number times 80%. That's at 224. So he doesn't have 30,000 in it to do a cash out refi.
Okay.
But if he did a cash out refi and got a 30-year note, then you could purchase the property. Then
Okay.
you could purchase that property subject to the existing mortgage.
Oh, okay.
And
And just
take over those mortgage payments, but I don't see how that's going to benefit him. And I'll show you why. If the house is truly worth 200 or 280,000, okay, you've got 10% in closing cost and real estate commissions just on the back end. So I'm going to subtract that off of the $280,000. He's got about 20. If he's really all in at 230, he's not even going to make $30,000 on his flip if he were to sell it on the open market at top dollar. So this is something that I would let him know. If he's gotten a hard money loan and he's borrowing this and he's all in at 230, he's not going to make $30,000 on this, even on this flip.
I see what you're saying.
So I wouldn't consider that somebody, like, as an investor that's got a hard money loan, it's really hard to do a creative financing deal on that. Okay. The reason he's reaching out for someone to buy the property, he's reaching out for somebody to buy the property because he's already knows he's in trouble. He's probably upside down on this flip. Probably. The other thing I would do if I were him is I would refinance the property and sell it owner finance or lease to own. That would be the best way for him to recoup the money.
Okay.
Now, I think Eric may have another opinion, and it's great. We all have different opinions. Eric, what do you see on that?
Yeah, what I see is the very first thing that she said. I'm sorry, I didn't catch her name. But
India.
She said, hi, India. I think the struggle here is he made it very clear, if I understood you correctly, that he does not want to refinance.
Right. He was kind of, he's saying that he would, I mean, he was kind of straddling the fence about it because he was saying that, he will have to refinance and it'll be a 7%. And then he was like, he doesn't really know if he wants to do it for the 7%, the interest rate right now. And then he was just throwing out different ideas of how this could work. And I told him I would get back with him. So he wasn't really not clear. I mean, I think, like I said, if I was to present another exit, he probably would be open to it. But as we're discussing it, I'm not really seeing anything if this is really like a deal at all.
Well, that's one of the beautiful things about this, is that this is the kind of deal that you get a hold of Julie and you get her on the phone, or one of her team on the phone with you and this seller, and find out.
Right.
Yeah, because really, I don't know if he's upside down on the flip, because to me, I don't see why he wouldn't just list it on the MLS and get it sold and take his 22 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not reaching out wanting you to buy it if he could do that. You know what I mean? So and it's just like all of us. Sometimes we're upside down on deals and we try to save face. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, but I don't know that that's 100% of the avatar that you might be looking for. Did you get this lead from Need to Sell My House Fast?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I did not.
How'd you get the lead?
I'm with the Ron LeGrand and the Goals Club.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, and it was a FISBO lead, and I called it and talked with him. So
Okay, so it's for sell by an owner, and he's I just wonder if he has an underlying mortgage. Because let's say he wanted $30,000. Okay, let's just pretend he's not an investor.
okay.
If you were to say, and Ron is the grand poobah of this, by the way.
Right.
So if you put a lease to own buyer in there, or somebody in their owner finance, you're probably going to get somewhere about 10% down. Right.
Right.
So for you to make money on that first payday, what you pay him has to be less than what your lease to own tenant would pay. So if they put $28,000 down, you would want your entry fee to be below that 28.
Explain that some more, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Yeah, no problem. So let's pretend that I have already bought a house subject to. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Most of the time, my exit strategy is not to turn around and rent it out. It's to turn around and sell it owner finance, or a turn around and sell it lease to own.
Okay.
Okay. When somebody is leased to own and they're a tenant buyer, I don't have to worry about landlord opportunities.
Right.
So, what about sneeze? So one thing is, as a tenant buyer, is I'm going to ask for 10% down. I'm going to charge them probably 9% interest, and I'm going to raise the sales price to 300 maybe, right?
Right. All
So
right.
if he wants 30, you're not, and you might get 30 down, you're breaking even. If you break even, that's good, as long as there's cash flow every month.
That's true. And I'm thinking the area, and being that, because it's in the country, Roanoke Rapids is the country, and I'm wondering the only way that will work, it would have to be like traveling nursing, or
well, now you're thinking about Airbnbs. I'm talking about, that's still a rental though. I'm talking about getting somebody in there with less than perfect credit.
Oh, okay. You thinking seller?
Yeah, because if you have to put $30,000 down up front, think about how many years it's going to take you to recoup 30 grand. It's going to take you 5 years in Airbnbs.
Right.
So anytime you're putting money down, you want that first down payment to be more than what that is. With the exception of, if I'm walking into a deal with equity, then I don't mind being out of pocket a little bit up front. But this deal wouldn't have any leftover equity.
Right.
Just a thought. But I mean, you're in a great mastermind there too, with the guy that taught everybody how to do it. So
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. That was a great story. So, but wouldn't it be highly unlikely Julie, that let's just say you did a lease to own, that a person with issues with their, financing or credit, so forth, wouldn't it be highly unlikely that they're going to come up with 28,000-30,000?
Okay, so that is a great question. Okay. You would be very, very surprised how easy it is to find people that have the down payment and can afford the monthly payment and make the money. They just aren't credit worthy yet. Like, you'd be very, very surprised. Like, usually when I put a house up for sale, lease to own, it's sold in a week. Let me, and Nina, you might be, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to tell you who that avatar is by explaining a deal. I did a deal on Airport Road a couple of weeks ago. Okay. And I took over mortgage payments of about $120,000. Right. I put up the house for sale, lease to own. This man, this Spanish gentleman, owned a landscaping company. Okay. He had $80,000 to put down on the house. Okay. There's lots of people that own businesses, including myself, that is very good at tax strategies. So at the end of the year, you look absolutely poor.
That's genius, Julie, because I have pretty much a similar scenario property that was bought last year, 450,000. The balance on it right now is 360, and it's on the market for 499. And we just fell out of contract literally this week, 9 days prior to closing, because the buyer couldn't get their loan fulfilled. And so it's back on the market, and I'm getting some good interest on it. And so, but we're ready to check out. I mean, it's basically this property sitting on $120,000 of our own money. And so we're ready to check out and go somewhere else. But I mean, I guess, and it's a hard money loan. So guess what? Every month is
You have enough money in that deal to do a cash out refi and then turn around and do an owner finance deal.
Well, no, a cash out refi, that means we'd have to refinance the entire deal, because it's right now the balance is the balance is a hard money lender. So you're saying refinance with a traditional lender?
There's hard money lenders out there that do 30-year notes. Okay. So if your ARV, that'll do 80% cash out refis. So and this is like, if you can't sell it and you want you need to pull some money out, by the way. This is not a strategy like, this is if you want to carry money from one deal to the next. Have you ever heard of the Burr method? Buy, renovate, rent, refinance.
Okay. Yeah, no, you know what? We've been pretty successful at buying, renovating, and selling. And that's been, our strategy, and it's always worked. But
sometimes things go sideways. So if you took that $500,000 house and they loaned you at 80% of this loan, right?
Right.
Okay. How much do you guys have in it? Or what's your current loan right now?
360.
You got, okay, 70, 80, 90. You've got $40,000 that you could pull out of that house right now, if you had to.
Yeah, no.
But you got 120 in cash out, don't you?
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it makes more sense. No, I've looked at that as well. And so, no, I appreciate, this has been a great conversation. And I agree that at the beginning of the Zoom that, it's all about mindset. So I mean, I literally had to tell myself today, shake it off, girl, shake it off, because, and my husband, who's my co-partner in our LLC, it's a little difficult to do business, I think, with your spouse. But I said, every deal is not going to be successful. It's been an amazing, few years for us. I mean, 7 of our flips have been, income producing, and we've sold them. It just so happened that the interest rates went up last year. And so there's been a lot of interesting dilemmas in this transaction. And it's like, you know what, you learn from them, you pick yourself up, and you keep going. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Julie, 'cause you know what, there's nothing like, I mean, you could be the smartest knife in the drawer, but if you don't have positive mindset, you're going to stay, going over
You're
the same-
exactly right.
Yeah,
And
no.
dropping your price and taking a lower price is better than sitting on it too, withholding.
Right. Well, and we had a full price cash offer. I mean, I'm sorry, not cash. We had a full price offer. I mean, literally we're ready to roll, and they, I just think
Oh,
it
you
was,
just lost one buyer?
Mm.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
Well, no,
Yeah,
and
you
we're
guys
back, we're back on the market, and I'm getting a lot of, I mean, that's the nice thing about, having your license and doing this on the side.
Yeah, so I mean,
Because
you
I-
see what everyone
I-
coming in, like, because there's a difference between needing to get out of a deal and wanting to get out of a deal, and you don't have to get out of this deal yet,
Right,
which is
right.
good. You just had one buyer, but like if you did let's say you had to do a cash out refi, you could pull that 30 out, sell it owner finance, pull another 40 out down.
Right. And on it, and ironically, there was another townhouse on the same street that did the exact same thing. I mean, it was for sale, but it was only lease finance, owner financing. They literally went under contract within 3 days. I mean, I was shocked. So
You make 3 times the money on that deal that we're talking about than you would on a flip. It's just not all today.
right. No, I'm gonna definitely look into that, because I think everything can be a blessing in disguise, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad though that you've done so well with
Yeah.
your flips, because I could say that I have not. I mean, I've lost money on quite a few flips.
Well,
So-
my husband and I are architects by education.
Mhm.
So we already have that
Mindset.
ability to
Yeah.
construction, so forth. And we invested in some multi-unit properties prior to that. So, I mean, I really feel, I mean, I think this, what the hiccup, I think, in this industry is, I mean, you're explaining what you need to be a successful investor. And I mean, I feel like I have all of that. The hiccup is getting the clients. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, I feel like, I mean, my spouse, he can do it over and over again, but he's like, can you find another client? Like, can you another client? Because, and I feel like it's just easier and safer. I do realize that it has been easier and safer. And honestly, it's been, the money in this is way better, because I get commission selling it. I get commission buying it, and we get the money, the
Well,
profit.
plus it seems like you love it.
Oh, absolutely. It's I mean, it's, in fact, this was kind of like a legal issue. And I thought, should I go to law school? I'm trying to convince my children to get a real estate license. I'm sorry, real estate, to go back and get a law degree. No, it's fascinating. There's a lot of different avenues that you can take in the world of real estate. I just think that it's, if I wanted to rock the business, I think it goes back to getting clients.
How many leads are you buying from Need to Sell My House Fast?
None. No, I
Why?
haven't. Yeah, no, I probably need to look into that as well too.
No,
I know.
I'm serious. They are like, I don't even own Need to Sell My House Fast. I don't get paid anything for telling you this. I close 1 in every 10 leads they give me.
Okay, yeah, no, I definitely need to. I've
So
tried
if I
other-
pay $300 or $500 a piece per lead for 10 of them, and I make 60 grand on a deal, I'm still super cash flow positive. And for you being a real estate agent too, I mean, like, you can make them any offer they want, including listing the house.
Right.
Like, you'd be a master closer. I mean, like, seriously, like a master closer of these leads.
No, I'll definitely look into it, Julie. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you look in the link in the chat, there's, if you click that, then you could schedule a call with them or something.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll definitely do that. I just, I've tried several different lead sources and spend a lot of money. And I didn't close one deal,
Yeah.
but it could be.
Hey, I've done it too. That's why I'm even doing these calls for them, because I believe in their product. I really do.
Right. No, that's good to know.
Hey, Caroline, how are you? Sorry, I got to say hey to my baby. Hey,
No, that's
Caroline.
I wanted to say hey for like 5 minutes. I'm like, hold on, chill. All right, go. Bye. Come on, let's go. Go. Go get.
All right. So what other questions do you guys have? Yeah, too. And also, Nina, hook up with other partners and things too, because you may have the ability to fund deals that other people don't have. So network with other people that are in these groups.
Hey, Julie, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Sean?
Good. So I have, as you probably know, I'm on Facebook a lot doing some marketing, but I had somebody reach out to me who specializes in finding lease option sellers.
Okay.
And I was wondering if you thought that was worth digging into a little bit more.
How do they do that?
She says she's always been good at finding lease options. She's out of California, but does specific markets. We didn't get exactly into her marketing because I don't think she wanted to show me how she was finding them.
Yeah.
Which I understand. I'm not mad. But I asked her how she gets paid, and she says she keeps a 5% option fee on the seller side, and whatever we get on the buyer side would be our spread.
Oh, so she's wholesaling you deals that she's already
Exactly.
put together. Heck yeah,
Basically.
I'd do them. Heck yeah, I'd do them, Sean.
Okay, I'm gonna dig some more into that then.
Because she's the one going out there probably pulling pre-foreclosure lists, vacants, like the whole 9 yards, having a call center, making all the offers. She's just wholesaling her sub 2 deals to you, right?
Yeah, because I asked her, I said, so you get the 5% on the seller side, you don't care what I make on the on the tenant buyer side. She goes, no, I don't care what you make. My 5% set, and then you do whatever you got to do to make the spread and go from there. I said, okay. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a great deal. I pay a guy right now almost 30% to do that for me.
okay. Well,
Hey,
then,
give me her number, Sean. I'm just kidding.
you know you're gonna get it on the deals anyway from the creative.
Yeah, I do. I'm like, and give me her number.
yeah, exactly. I got you. Thanks, Julie.
Yes, no problem. All right. Anybody else, guys? I'll stay on as long as you have questions. Well, listen, if you're not already partnered with us here at REI Connector or Partner Driven, and you would like to learn more about being one of our partners, where we show you how to do real estate deals, we put the money up and we split profits. All you got to do is click the link inside of the chat and you'll be able to schedule a call with one of my people. But this call, along with the one I'm doing tomorrow, are always free, informative calls. I don't do a ton of pitching on these. Obviously, there's certain things that pay my bills, right? So I do. But if you would like to also join me in a deal-driven training call, okay, I'm doing that tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you don't already have the link, let me know. Okay, let me see. Trying to figure out. Okay. Copy. Sorry, I'm trying to do the technology myself.
Hey, Julie. I would
Hey.
be interested. Hi, Precious. I would be interested in that YouTube that you do on Thursdays at 2 tomorrow.
Yes.
Would
So
you mind sending me the link?
yeah,
that?
in the chat, there's a place for you to register. Kristen just put it in there for me.
Okay,
It says dealdriven.com.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Mhm.
Eric, another question?
Yeah, real quickly you said something a moment ago about talking to the folks that are in here. And are you okay with me dropping my contact information in here?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about, networking. And Eric is one of my partners that I partner on deals. So send him all the deals you got and we would love to help you. Sorry, I'm selfishly plugging us, Eric.
No problem. I'm not mad at you.
All right. Well, everybody have an awesome, beautiful day. Get out there and get in the sun outside this weekend. It's beginning to be summertime. So go get that vitamin C. Everybody have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Julie.
Bye. Bye, honey.